All right, so we're back, and it's going to be cat dissection muscles, and this is take two because I made some errors in my labeling of things a minute ago. Too busy ahead of my voice trying to look at too many things, I guess. All right, so in the cat's chest, there are four adductor muscles we're going to talk about. One of which, in one of the earlier videos, I started to tease. I was actually teasing out right here, which is part of the pectoralis major. Okay. So the striations are a little hard to see, but here's the major. Okay, this is the major, and it goes under this. This is the antebrachialis, the pecto antebrachialis, here and here. Misidentified that earlier because I was on this, which is the major. So the major goes under there. There's the antebrachialis, and again, if I pull on this muscle, okay, you can see that the paw moves. Okay, it comes inward. Adduction. Okay, adduction. Okay, same thing. Here's the pectoralis major. Okay, moves that. Again, called major because of the width of its origin, and it dives into the humerus. Here's the pectoralis minor. Okay, minor because in the humans it's much, much smaller. So if I were to contract that muscle, you can see that the paw moves in. Over here, the xiphi humerales, okay, is right here. It often gets pulled off with the fat material. I was able to save it. It runs kind of along and then goes down into the xiphoid process, but again, that got pulled off. Okay, so as we switch to the major back muscles, okay, that I've teased out for you, we have the latissimus dorsi, which is one of the bigger muscles in bodybuilders that you see on their back. Okay, the lats, the wings. Okay, the cat, its trapezius muscle, okay, the triangle, the trapezius runs like this, as we know, and then inserts into the arm. Well, the cat's trapezius has three sections. You have the spinotrapezius, shown here, because it goes to the spine of the scapula. On this side, the acromiotrapezius, I accidentally tore off. Here's the acromiotrapezius right here, because it goes to the acromion process. Okay, and then up into the neck of the cat is the clavotrapezius, because it goes down to the clavicle on the other side, and then it becomes the clavobrachialis as it moves in the arm. So it's a big giant muscle here, clavotrapezius, because it's in the neck and into the clavicle, okay, and then the clavobrachial region for the clavobrachialis, okay. So latissimus dorsi, spinotrapezius, acromiotrapezius, and then in the cat's neck you have the clavotrapezius down into the clavobrachialis. One muscle changes names, okay. Now we're going to look at the abs together and see if I can get this right with one shot. We have two sides on the cat, so if I get it wrong the first time, we'll take a look at the other side. So what I want to do first is kind of go an overview. So you have the rectus abdominis here covered with that tendon sheet, okay? And then you have the external obliques, and again, if you can see striations, you can see that the external obliques are running like this, okay? They're running at an angled pattern, okay, on the cat's body, okay? So they run at an angle, okay? And they attach to the abdominal aponeurosis here. So again, the external obliques, and that'll be key, are running like this. Okay, they run in this direction. Okay, all right. So with the rectus abdominis, we want to try and expose it. I'm going to try and expose the rectus abdominis. Okay, and what I'm going to do is take the needle probe and kind of prick through a little bit here of the connective tissue. Okay, and see if I can get under there. You got to be careful here because if we cut too deep with a scalpel, we will expose the abdominal region, and all the intestines will be right there. They won't fly out because the intestines are in a mesentery. They're in a package once we open that up, and we'll do that probably looking at something that I will probably do mid next week, maybe, that we'll do that, or maybe I'll save that for a little bit later, that we'll do a live stream. I could get into there and do those. So we'll see. Okay, so the rectus abdominis in here, okay, under this tendon sheet, okay, go up and down. So this is going to take a little bit more than I wanted to get these exposed. The tendon sheet's it's a tough set of material here. It's just not getting done as quick as we want here. Okay? So those of you that are impatient, I'm going to work on this. Fast forward so you can see what looks like Mr. Boyd got there. So technique, I'm raising the material with the probe and kind of cutting that, okay, to get that material. There we go. That's starting to expose those abdominal muscles, the rectus abdominis, because again it goes up and down. I keep blocking the camera. Sorry, I'm working on it, and trying to do it with the camera is something unique, that's for sure. Okay. Bad enough that I block it when you're in class. Okay, that's just a light little cut here to try and get through that abdominal aponeurosis so we can get through and expose the abdominal muscles without tearing through everything. Let's see if that'll work. Let's see. Get it? So that aponeurosis is holding tight to those abdominal muscles, that's for sure. So you can see here, this material that I'm trying to get this aponeurosis off of, that is the rectus abdominis, and that would have been one of those things that in class, kind of knowing you could see them. Okay, and then again, we have the external obliques. So what I want to try and do here is cut a window. Okay, and we're going to start on this side, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so what I want to try and do is cut, as I've described it to a couple people here, as cutting the first sheet of 3 sheets of paper. Okay, so I'm going to cut a little window in here, relatively speaking window. Okay, and try to separate 3 layers. Okay. All right. I think I got layer 1. Okay. There we go. Okay, so what I've done here is this little window right here is going to separate the external obliques, okay, from the internal obliques, and the directionality is going to be different. So see that, how I'm under that? That's a really, really thin layer. Okay? So I'm under there, and I peel back that. So what I have now is I have separated, hey, first time. All right? And I have witnesses, Cam and Tori. I didn't cheat. Okay? I didn't redo this video. So there is my external oblique, okay, layer right here. Okay, and that folds out of the way. And the next muscle layer underneath is my internal oblique. Okay? And then my transverse abdominis are going to be there as well. Now I might get a better view of the rectus abdominis as I start to separate this. So now that I've got this, I'm going to cut here, okay, and keep opening my window. This video is going to be over 10, but we'll get all of these muscles finished. All right, here we go. Beautiful. So again, I basically, and again, you can see the thickness. Oops, you can see the thickness of this is not, again, much more than a piece of paper in the cat's abdominal region. Okay, so again, I've taken the external obliques and moved them out of the way, okay, to expose the internal obliques, okay, which are running at an angle that's different. Now the hard part, can I get layer 3 exposed, okay, which are going to be the transverse abdominis. They're not going to have an angle. They're going to move across the cat. And we'll see, they're pretty hard to try and get to sometimes. I need to stay closer to the aponeurosis over here. So again, my rectus is over here, so I need to stay over this way. But I've got my cut, so I'm going to see if I can do this without piercing through that abdominal layer. Got them, but I'm trying not to open that abdomen. See that layer, see how thin we are here. So if I go too thick, I'm into that bubble there. I can see it here. It's almost like that third piece of paper is wet. You're trying not to shred the third piece of paper. Okay. So here under my probe, that's the internal obliques. So if I can cut these away, okay, There's layer number 3. All right, so transverse abdominis, internal obliques, external obliques. Okay, so your abdominal layers, external obliques, internal obliques, and then under this is transverse abdominis, and then the rectus abdominis goes up and down here and here. So rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, internal obliques, external obliques. There you go. And that is the end of our muscle dissections. The next thing we'll do will be to cut open the cat. So we're not going to do that today. What I'll do is I'll pinch the abdomen, make an incision, and I will go up the chest cavity, and I will go down and we'll open that up. I'm not going to do that today because that will simply let the cat dry out. And with this is being filmed on Thursday the 23rd, tomorrow's the day the seniors are going to come get their caps and gowns. So I'm not going to take the time away from that. I want to be part of that. So I'm going to put some preservative on the cat's muscles so it doesn't dry out. Okay, and then I'm going to do that. So I'll do a cleanup video. So that's it for the muscles. Thanks for holding in there. We'll see you when it comes time to get to the inside.